This unfolding situation at UMass Boston. You can see people now clearly appear to be evacuating this dorm building. It is 240 Morrissey Boulevard. It's the Motley dorm building. And UMass Boston just issued an alert for a public threat. And so to avoid that area, I'm just being told here in the newsroom. So we saw kind of what began as a small police presence that then rapidly expanded. We saw what appeared to be a couple of dozen officers running toward this motley.
All right, updating the breaking story we brought to you just a few minutes ago. Defense Department official confirming to Fox that there is a lockdown at the U.S. Naval Academy campus in Annapolis, Maryland. No additional information being provided yet, but earlier we told you multiple sources are reporting a disgruntled former midshipman who was dismissed from the academy apparently returned to campus with a gun. We are told from people on the ground there have been gunshots heard inside one of the academy buildings. We don't have any casualties. We don't have any other information other than someone was knocking on doors, believed to be this angry midshipman, ex-midshipman, claiming to be with the military police. So we are monitoring this live from Annapolis, Maryland. We'll continue to head back as we get more info.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
We turn now to Maryland in a story breaking overnight, a shooting at a U.S. Naval Academy, police responding to a threat. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has details. Nicole, good morning.
Elizabeth, good morning. The Naval Academy in Annapolis was placed under lockdown after a threat on social media raised concerns about a possible active shooter. Midshipmen on the campus were sheltering in place when police arrived, and that's when, according to the New York Times, a midshipman mistook an officer for a potential shooter and hit him in the head with a training weapon. They say the officer then opened fire, shooting the midshipman in the arm. Thankfully, both are expected to be okay, and in the end, authorities say there was no active shooter threat. But we've seen a wave of threats reported across the country in the last 24 hours, including at 7 historically black colleges and universities. And the new school year has seen an epidemic of hoax calls and reports about shootings and other emergencies. Some of them have been racially motivated.
Good time to be alive, man. But we're just now getting into reporting on this, and I'm just reading some of the comments on what people were saying. Guns aren't the problem, people are. Social media created a bunch of psychopaths. National death penalty for murderers and pedophiles and terrorism. People talk about gun control. How about lunatic control? Evil is trying to create chaos. They must reinstate the death penalty. Notice the side that wants gun control are the ones doing the shootings. The Second Amendment is more important than ever. Our soldiers being attacked at home, just like our citizens. The inmates are running asylums. It's not a Naval Academy, it's the Naval Academy. This is prayer. The left is getting desperate. They know their ideology is dying when statistics, facts, and common sense destroys your narrative. All they have left is violence. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Wandering right now out of Annapolis, Maryland, this being there in one of the service academies. You can look at a live picture, a lockdown potentially in place, as this is people with long guns armed at ready. We're getting just some of these images, and I'm not going to lose this image right now, but I'm going to read you a statement coming in from the U.S. Naval Academy saying naval support activity Annapolis, in coordination with local law enforcement, is currently responding to reports of threats made to the Naval Academy. The base is under lockdown out of an abundance of caution. This is a developing situation. We are providing updates as they become available. Please avoid the area until further notice. So you can see there right on the harbor, the ships there, but also people walking down this path. They have a K-9 unit. So very developing right now there in this area. They're asking people to shelter in place, to stay out of the way. And this is concerning to say the least, just in light of what we've seen in the last several days, several weeks. But you can see they're armed at ready, walking down this path, this high atop there, kind of away from Baltimore, away from Washington, D.C., if you're familiar with the area on this Naval Academy. And I believe potentially we saw similar situations at different bases recently in recent times. It's hard to keep track of all of what's going on, but this is a very developing story right now. There you can see armed and at ready on this campus, vehicles in place for this. So I'm not exactly sure what they're looking for, who they're looking for, what's going on, what the reports may or may not be, but a very active scene. You can see there police with weapons drawn on the ground in Annapolis, Maryland, a K-9 unit flanking them behind. And this is a very active scene. They're using their training, what they're trained for at the U.S. Naval Academy there on lockdown. So following that closely here on Live Now from Vox. And I do believe I see another glimpse inside of Air Force One. So we're going to dip out of that real quickly, monitoring that very closely. But as we see this popping up, this was Air Force One. We did see the door open up just briefly. So
we have another update on Charlie Kirk's killer, assassin, identified as Tyler Robinson.
CB Cotton's working her story, her sources on the ground there on this story as well. She is also live on the campus there, Orem, Utah. And CB, what do you have for us? Hello there.
Hey, Bill, good morning. So as we just heard from colleague David Spunt, the suspect has now been identified as Tyler Robinson, and we are hoping to learn more about who this person is at this news conference. But we heard this morning President Trump seemed to suggest that a person close to Tyler turned him in. What I'm hearing from one federal source, I just got a note from, is that this suspect's father turned him in last night in southern Utah. And all of these moving parts come as the FBI made a huge push yesterday for more information, asking the public, come forward if you recognize this person. And after that big push from the FBI, you know, it seemed like things were moving here on the ground. We had a news conference that got pushed back several times yesterday. We also heard the president explain again how the timeline of this. He said a minister here in Utah who was friends with a U.S. Marshal got involved, and at that point, the father was contacted. And again, I'm hearing from a federal source that it was Tyler Robinson's father who turned in his son. We saw that new video yesterday, chilling, showing the gunman moving quickly across the roof and then dropping one story down before running through the parking lot. And we also learned from the FBI that the shooter then discarded the gun in a wooded area. We also got those newly released surveillance pictures of the shooter, giving us an up-close look at the shooter's face and the clothing he was wearing. And now the major development today is waiting to hear more and learn more about who Tyler Robinson is, what's his background, and what was the planning that he presumably did to take that fatal shot towards Charlie Kirk, who was speaking to a crowd of about 3,000 supporters here on this campus. Bill, I want to send it back over to you.
Thank you, CB. Stand by for more from you and others there in Utah.